The Mr. Olympia contest was created in 1965 by Joe Weider to give the world's best bodybuilders an opportunity to flex for a new international title. Superstar Larry Scott swept the event in its first 2 years with colossal arms, becoming the very first Mr. Olympia. The man to take Scott's place was a Cuban expatriate and former Olympic lifter, Sergio Oliva, dubbed the Myth because of his shocking size. He captured the Mr. Olympia crown the next 3 years. So feared was Oliva that in 1968, not one bodybuilder dared to compete against him. He won unopposed. Unopposed, that is, until the arrival of one Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Austrian Oak won his first Mr. Olympia title in 1970, beginning the longest reign in bodybuilding history at that time. Arnold made himself and the Mr. Olympia title household names. After 6 consecutive Mr. O's, he announced his retirement in 1975. But how's his saying go? I'll be back. He did come back. Arnold staged a surprise appearance in the 1980 contest to emerge with an unbelievable 7th Mr. Olympia title. The next year saw Arnold's best friend, Franco Columbu, finally winning it all after 5 years of trying. With his legendary strength, Franco showed the world that the bodybuilder's muscles were as powerful as they looked. The next 3 years, bodybuilding took a different direction, away from size to the symmetrically perfect Frank Zane, who managed to beat athletes with far more muscle mass. 1982 saw the title go to Chris Dickerson, who'd been runner-up in the previous 2 years. With calves widely held to be the best ever seen, he announced his retirement from a bodybuilding career that went back almost 15 years. The Lion of Lebanon, Samir Banu, set another precedent in the contest preparation in 1983 as he soared to victory in Munich. His reign was not destined to continue, with the newcomer who placed 3rd that year ready to usurp Samir's crown. 1984 began the era of Lee Haney, a man with the largest, most impressive torso seen since Arnold. With his incredible size combined with tiny joints, Haney would become every professional bodybuilder's worst nightmare. With a stranglehold on the title for the next 7 consecutive years, no man in history, not even Arnold, had so many consecutive Mr. Olympia titles. Tonight, the prize level is at its highest ever. The athletes are of the quality that is nothing less than Olympia material. This is Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia. Welcome to the 1991 Mr. Olympia Bodybuilding Championships, coming to you from the beautiful Walt Disney World Dolphin Resort. Hi everybody, I'm Joe Fowler, and here to help me call the competition is world-class bodybuilder and top fitness model, Penny Price. Hi,
yes,
Penny.
Hello. It's exciting to be here today.
This is going to be terrific. I think it's worth the price of admission just to see Lee Haney try to break a record. I mean, he has won 7, but now he's got to break the record.
Yes, well, he's tied Arnold 7, and he's going for 8 this year.
Now, we have some familiar names who have challenged him in the past, and they're going to do it again tonight.
We've got Lee Labrada, Rich Gaspari, Sean Ray.
Sean Ray, everybody. He's our broadcast buddy who talks a good game, but he can back it up. We'll see if he'll take it over the top. And then you were surprised this afternoon in prejudging.
Well, the rumor has it that Dorian Yates from England is pound for pound the only one that could really take it from Lee.
And we'll see if he can do that. So we'll take you inside the Dolphin with the 1991 Mr. Olympia Championships right after this.
American Muscle Magazine's special presentation of the IFBB Mr. Olympia is brought to you by Valio, the ultimate workout belt, by Twin Lab, the leader in sports nutrition, and by Weider, the total fitness company. We'll be back with more of the IFBB Mr. Olympia competition in just a moment.
Welcome back to the 1991 Mr. Olympia competition. I'm Joe Fowler along with Penny Price. We've had a full day, Penny.
Oh, it has been great.
We had the big show that's about to begin behind us, but the prejudging took place many hours ago. It's very grueling.
Yeah.
What impressed you most about the prejudging?
It was the number of competitors, 27 competitors, the largest array that they've ever had at any Mr. Olympia.
And what makes it interesting is nearly half of the 27 are from outside the United States, which Mr. O will tend to do. It'll bring the international best to this one stage. Of course, we had the chance to see Lee Haney and Dorian Yates side by side. That was a sight to see.
It was tremendous. Pound for pound, Dorian could take him.
There's a possibility of that.
Yes.
And then we saw during the preliminaries there, we had Lee Labrada, Rich Gaspari, Sean Ray, guys that you spoke of earlier in the show. But that's when they had to go side by side. Can that be intimidating?
I don't think so, especially with the number of competitors. You know, I think at this point they feel very lucky just to be out there.
Well, they are among the best, folks. Are you ready? We're going to hit the stage right now for the start of the 1991 Mr. O.
Yeah.
And what a great way to start it. One of the top bodybuilders around, Lee Labrada. Here's the board on Lee. He's 5'6", 185 pounds, 30 years old, Penny, and he's from Houston, Texas. He's a veteran, and big things are expected of him.
Let's watch him pose. He is one of the best posers in the sport today.
Classic poses. You know, he doesn't have to get fancy schmancy. He uses the classic sweep poses, and he, of course, has that great symmetry to provide beautiful poses for the eye. You're seeing it right there.
And he wants this bad. This is his 5th Mr. Olympia.
This is the one title that's really eluded him. He has not won a Mr. O. If paying dues means anything, Lee Labrada has to be a favorite. We talked to him about that.
Well, you got to pay your dues, and you know, for some it happens faster than others. There's a lot of great athletes here today, you know, but I feel that I have the potential to do it, and I think that I will do it.
He does not lack self-confidence, and he also doesn't lack a fan club. He has that Team Labrada group with him here in Orlando.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
And he's going to play off of his fans right now. They're wearing their shirts and their caps. There is Lee Labrada, folks.
Yes, beautiful poser.
I think he did a really good job. And
Great
he is,
bodybuilder.
of course, one of the favorites. Next up, Ron Love at 6 foot, 240. Penny, Ron has hit the big 4-0. He's 40 this year, a veteran.
You can't even tell.
Great upper body. That is his plus.
Definitely getting better with age. He's been around a long time.
Yes, he has. Common problem, though, the calves. I mean, that's probably what needs the most work on his body. He has a new right-hand man, renowned trainer John Perillo,
Yes,
and Ron
right.
says that John has helped him out a lot.
You got to have the whole package in order to have a complete physique. And that takes time, you know, because you're always learning along the way, you know, as far as with the diet, because the body changes from time to time, you know. And I've learned that with my physique, you know. That's the reason why I seeked out for help. You know, and John was real knowledgeable in that area, and he's helped me quite a bit, and today I came into my best shape.
That is to Ron Love's credit in that at this age of 40, after these many years of training, he's still seeking to improve, and he's trying to find somebody to help him do just that.
That's what the sport is about, constantly improving.
How do you work on the calf muscles, though?
Well, if you don't have them, they're tough to get.
Well, Rich Gaspari has him. He's 5'8", 216, 28 years old, and he is a favorite in this competition. Pretty much thick all the way around.
Yeah, he's pretty much made his name on that ripped look. He's pretty much set the precedent for that.
Second place in the Mr. O of 1986, 87, 88. That was getting a little bit redundant for him. He's been knocking on the door. It's time for him to break that door down. Rich needs mass to go with the symmetry. He knows it, too.
He's got plenty of thickness.
I'm known for being the hardest bodybuilder. I feel that I've put on a little more mass, but I'm still symmetrical, and hopefully, you know, I go into this contest being the best that I can be, and I feel very confident in myself.
Rich Gaspari, you're talking about thickness. He's got that blocky waist. There's not much you can do about that, though, can you?
Not a whole lot. You can pose around it, but he's not one of the best posers in the sport. He is learning, though.
That's it. 3 down.
Yeah.
12 to go. And we will be back with more of Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia right after this. Stay with us. Welcome Welcome back to the Walt Disney World Dolphin Hotel. The theme around here, Penny, is it's a small world, but not in this arena today.
No, this is huge.
This
What a
is a
stage.
big, big world. And first, among our second group of competitors vying for the Mr. Olympia crown, the man with his arms crossed, Bob Paris. There's the book on Bob, 6 foot 230, 31 years old. Hey, he comes from the right place, Olympia, Washington.
Right.
I
I
mean,
wonder if he moved there for that reason.
it's a sign of things to come.
Good luck.
You know, this is a man who I don't know if I guess it's fair to say that it's expectations unfulfilled, because in 1983 he won the Nationals and the Mr. Universe title, and he's been struggling ever since.
Yes, I'm not sure what it is. He's originally hailed as the new Steve Reeves, but he never quite pulled it off.
Maybe the most aesthetic physique around, but how far will that get you? I mean, there's a fine line there. You would know that in the women's bodybuilding, the aesthetics, the symmetry, and then the mass, the bulk.
Yes, he needs a little bit more mass, a little bit more hardness. Sometimes he comes in a little smooth.
But he never comes in as an introvert. He is one of the sport's best posers, and he loves to play off of the audience, and he's doing just that right now.
He knows how to do it.
That's Bob Paris, folks, from Olympia, Washington. And here is the board on Terry Pastel. There you see 5'4", 180, 32 years old. He's from France. Truly an international competition we've got going for us today. We have many from other countries. And Terry has been accused of overtraining at times, but if you overtrain like that, you've got a chance to win this thing. He looks good to me. What do you
I don't think he has any weak body parts. Look
No.
at his delts and calves, his arms.
And his joints are small enough to give him that extra bulky look. If you were to guess his weight, folks, what would you guess? What, 210, 230? Guess what? 180. Jeez.
It's because his waist and his joints are so tiny. It makes him appear much larger than he actually is.
Now, the rap also on Terry is the creativity or lack of it in his posing. Can you woo the judges through your posing? Or is it, I mean, you got to look at the body. That's what counts. But can you woo them with your posing?
You can woo the audience, and I think that has some effect on the judges to a certain degree. I mean, it gets them excited.
Terry Pastel showing us the calf muscles, which,
And look at those abs.
Yeah.
Wow.
no
The best in the
weakness
world.
there. Really a strong physique. You're looking at Terry Pastel, and we're going to keep it moving now. Sonny Schmidt, there you see he's 5'9", 245, 34 years old. Sonny Schmidt from the Samoan Islands. He lives in Australia right now, and I like him. I like him a lot. He's truly one of the heavier, thicker bodybuilders in this competition, and that's what's going to have to win it.
And he started out winning the Mr. Australia title.
He brings with him the complete package, folks. Enormous back, very large thighs, delts, the calves.
And look at that symmetry.
And look at those abs. That's a great pose
Ooh,
right
yeah.
there for Sonny. You know, he's a quiet guy, but it's not that interviewing matters. I mean, when you're up on that stage, this is what
That's
does
right.
your talking.
That's
right there.
right. Well, he's a very strong poser. He poses to hard rocks, very hard poses.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier, and I asked him a few questions, because they had mentioned going into this competition that he's a man of few words, and I thought this would be the challenge. So I asked Sonny just how far he thought he could go in this competition. This was his response.
I didn't know realize how good I am. You know, one of my friends telling me, man, you got a glass of six, keep going. You might, you know, one day you have to be Mr. Olympia.
Sonny Schmidt.
He
I
likes
think
to show off that mass.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think he's upgraded his posing just a bit. He was posing more at a novice level in earlier competitions. I think he's looking very good. That's Sonny Schmidt, folks, and this is Renel Janvier. And there are the stats. He's 5'7", 210, 27 years old. And he is from Haiti, but he's got an interesting history. Then he goes to Stamford, Connecticut, then to Venice, California. Now, Penny, he's moved back to Stamford. He just can't keep still. He's going wherever he can train the best.
Look at the striations everywhere.
Mhm.
Look at those glutes.
Second place in the 91 IFBB Ironman and the Arnold Classic. Those are two strong credits.
He trains very heavy, too. Uses a lot of weight.
Talking about the striations, to go with that, those deep separations in the muscle groups, that certainly highlights his strength.
He has the perfect amount of oil on.
Now, is that an interesting, you mentioned oil. Can you over-oil and you
Oh,
become
yes.
nothing more than a shine on that stage.
Right, and it takes away from your physique. You want to put on just enough so that it shows it off. It doesn't obstruct it.
Mm-hmm. Renel Janvier's had a very good year. He'd like to cap it off right now. And next, Penny, is Francis Benfato.
What a classic
What a
body.
bodybuilding heartthrob. I thought everybody would like to know just a little bit more about Francis, so here's our profile.
Mon but principal, c'est d'arriver au sommet de ce sport, à savoir de remporter le titre de Monsieur Olympia. Alors la différence entre ma période hors saison et la période de l'approche de la compétition, c'est que en période pré-compétition, je m'entraîne beaucoup plus intensif, c'est-à-dire que les temps de repos sont beaucoup plus courts et j'exécute tous les muscles dans la journée. Le bodybuilding a été et est très important pour moi parce qu'il m'a permis de m'affirmer en tant qu'adulte et il m'apporte beaucoup de sensations au niveau corporel et un équilibre mental.
The three-time Mr. France. You know him a little better now. Now let's take a look at the board. As the lights hit the stage, Benfato 5'7", 185, 33 years old, Penny. And again, not only a fan favorite, but has to be a favorite in this competition as well.
I think so. You know, he has great shape to his muscles. He's got the classic lines, but I don't think he has the height or the massive body to beat a Haney or a Yates.
Well, you know, they say, and I think you can see it from the shots as we take the back shot as well, the legs and the calves are not as large as, I guess, in comparison to his upper body. Now, my wife is a trainer, and she says men often do ignore their lower body, and they go heavy on the upper.
Yeah, they're called California bodybuilders, all upper body.
But, you know, you're at the world-class stage here. This is no place to ignore
That's
that.
right.
I like his thighs,
Very
but you can
tricky.
see that the calf muscles are lacking. Francis Benfato, folks.
Good stage presence.
You bet. He's going to milk it just a little bit more. Those are those ladies out there that are
Nah,
waving.
he's got a wife.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
But they're still cheering for him.
That's right.
Don't go away. The Golden Boy and the Black Prince and many more coming up next. Stay with us.
There's more to victory than just pumping iron. That's why Weider products deliver unsurpassed quality through precision research at the highest standards available to you. From the pioneers in athletic performance nutrition. At Weider, the legacy continues with victory for you.
Welcome back to the Joe Weider Mr. Olympia from Walt Disney World's Dolphin Hotel. Joe Fowler and Penny Price with you. And Penny on the stage now is certainly one of the all-time favorites at the tender age of 26, Sean Ray. And he's going to come in with all the majestic glory. And there's the build-up on him, 5'7", 200, 26 years old. I like Sean a lot. I know I'm a little bit prejudiced here. He's been in our broadcast booth a lot. But early on, so young in age, he did so much. He's expected to win this sooner or later.
You know, he won the 87 Nationals after training for only 5 years.
And he won the 1990 Pro Ironman and the 91 Arnold Classic. So this is his natural next step, is to beat Lee Haney. Now, when he's off, he's off.
Yeah.
Is he on or is he off here?
He's on. He's on here. And, you know, because he was so good so young, they say that he doesn't work as hard as the others. But I've seen the way he trains. He trains hard.
Oh,
he wants
been...
this.
Hey, look, he's so popular, they're going to take pot shots at the guy. He's been called cocky and arrogant. I find him amusing, charming, and entertaining.
Me too, and he's a great
Sean
guy.
Ray.
Down to earth.
I like it a lot, but is it good enough to win? Don't know. There's Vince Taylor's board, 5'8", 206, 35. What's the ooh yes for?
Oh, he's just got the tiniest waist. I love his little waist.
Vince Taylor, well, that's definitely to a bodybuilder's advantage.
Yeah.
Tiny waist.
Yeah, does.
He didn't
And
think
he knows how to pose, too.
Well, he didn't think he'd make a good pro. Look at him play into the group. I like this.
Well, he didn't think he'd make a good pro, but he won his first pro contest, the United Champions, in 1989.
And he's finished as high as third in the Mr. Olympia. That was 1989 as well, so that was a good year for him. But what's important is what you see right now on the stage. Penny, do you see a weakness?
I don't think so. I don't think he has a weakness. Now, sometimes he misses his peak and cramps up on stage, but not tonight.
Oh, last year he did cramp up and had to withdraw from the Mr. O. Do you know how heavy that weighs on his mind? You can see it in his glare, his stare, his presence on the stage. He wants this one this year. There's no cramping up, no withdrawing. This is his moment. And you can tell. Just look at this shot right there.
Oh, yeah. And he knows how to pose, too. He knows how to get that audience involved.
Wait, is he cramping up again? No, it's just that gyration of his. Very confident. Vince Taylor.
Yeah.
He's going to finish high. He is going to finish high. Up next, Robbie Robinson. There's the board, 5'7", 220. He's the veteran, 45 years old. Sorry to do that to you, Robbie. Hey, Robbie's going to flex. He's going to move. He's going to work the judges. And get this, he's got a secret weapon in the audience. That's right. Somebody's out there who's helping him. Listen.
Even sometime when you're standing there, you might think that you are maybe flexed, and you might not be flexed, and you have some maybe designated person in the audience that you can like signal to or say like, hey, am I flexed? You know, you eye contact or touching your nose or something like that, and the person can go like, flex your legs. And you just read what that person's saying. You try to like flex or hold, kiss the body as much as you possibly can.
You know, while he was commenting, Penny, you could see the bicep peaks that he was showing. He has the best in the world. That is Robbie Robinson, folks, and he also, one of the better ones, Achim Albrecht, 5'11", 246, 29 years old. What do you know about him? This is his first pro show, so the information is still coming in on him.
Well, you know, he had little results at first with weight training, and he's only been in California for about a year.
He is Mr. Germany, the 1990 World Amateur Heavyweight Champion. Enormous legs, enormous shoulders,
And
enormous chest.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he's the most ripped man at this contest.
Well, I think Mr. Haney might want to differ with you, but we'll see. We'll see what Lee looks like. Well, do you think that he stands a chance then, Achim Albrecht?
I don't know. There's something blocky about his physique. The symmetry's not quite. I don't. Maybe it's the arms aren't in proportion to the rest of his physique.
You know, when we pick on these guys, we're really splitting hairs here because these are the best in the world. So we're looking for little problems in their physique. Before we go any further, let's take a moment to remember where this sport came from and the two people who've helped bring it this far. From their humble beginnings in Montreal, Canada, two brothers spawned an empire now spanning over 130 nations worldwide. Joe and Ben Weider took the fledgling sport of bodybuilding out of musty home basements and into worldwide arenas. With the formation of the International Federation of Bodybuilders in 1947, they provided an opportunity for amateur champions from every nation to come together and compete and eventually turn professional. The IFBB Mr. Olympia soon became the most sought-after title in all of bodybuilding. By the late 1960s, some of the best competitive bodybuilders appeared in Weider competitions and magazines. Men like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who Joe Weider brought over from Austria in 1968. Soon, with Weider's support, Arnold became a superstar, and Weider magazines became the Bible to bodybuilders all over the world. Today, the Weider legacy continues, and the Mr. Olympia contest is full of new names, faces, and physiques far beyond what was thought possible when the IFBB was founded by Ben Weider.
Oh, you want to look like this?
Get in on the secret. Cybergenics builds muscle fast.
Look, this is me before Cybergenics. This is me after.
Experts like the International Sports Symposium and Muscle Training Illustrated agree that Cybergenics is the first true and potent alternative to steroids.
In 60 days, you can put on 20 pounds of muscle. I know, because I did it.
This dual-phase 60-day program combines revolutionary potent anabolic formulas with a 72-page advanced systems training manual. This powerful innovation promotes maximum muscular size and strength while significantly reducing unwanted body fat. Act now and you'll receive Cybergenics the video, a must for amateurs and professionals alike. Don't miss out.
This $39 value is yours absolutely free through this special TV offer. Call now to order Cybergenics for $139.95 and receive your free training video. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-543-6200.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Fowler. The lady to my right is one of the top fitness models in the world, Penny Price. We're lucky to have her here. She's been on 20 covers of magazines, and the list is endless. There's Nimrod King's stats, and you can see that he was 5'7", 206, 25. This is a guy who, as a youth, kids made fun of his name. I see nothing funny about King. Do you?
I like his name.
Oh, Nimrod.
It fits him.
Okay, that's...
It fits him.
Well, he got really upset about it. He started training in his basement, and look at him now. What do you see?
He won the Canadian Nationals, the IFBB North American, IFBB Junior World.
But this is a whole new ball game right here. He's obviously accentuating the upper body right now, but look at the sweep on those thighs as we pan out and take that wide shot.
He really has incredibly thick pecs, too. Nice lat spread. Look at the lat pop out there.
He's egging that audience on, trying to get them behind him. You always, when you have a strength, that's what you're going to show as often as you can. You have certain body parts you have to show, obviously.
And he's not one of the best posers, so he's going to have a hard time showing it off. But...
Okay, next up, are you ready for Dorian Yates, folks? He's 5'10", 239. He's 29 years old, and everybody's been waiting for Dorian because in the prejudging, when Dorian and Lee Haney were set side by side, they were extremely impressive, and Dorian might be the one man who can knock Lee off. Of course, that's a heavy toll right there. We shall see. This is his very first Mr. Olympia. That's right. He didn't seem fazed by it when we talked to him earlier on.
Prepared psychologically to come here, even though it might be my first Mr. Olympia contest, and people might think, well, he's going to be overawed by the occasion and intimidated. There's no way, you know, I'm prepared psychologically. I believe in myself, and, you know, I'm coming here to show everybody what I've done.
And he barely lost the 1990 Night of Champions, and then he came back in 91 and won it big time.
Yeah.
That shows something.
Well, he's added 5 pounds since then, too.
This could be, folks, the one man who can knock Lee Haney off.
Tremendous thickness, especially in his chest and delts.
And he's going to stay on the stage right now and let us all take it in.
He's like a Haney, but he's got better legs.
And speaking of Haney, he's up next. But before we go to Lee Haney, let's take a moment to do a little profile on the champion, Lee Haney.
Mass is the ultimate goal of every bodybuilder. You know, you put in a lot of hard work and dedication into the gym, and the end result, of course, is large, thick muscle density. That is mass. That's everything. When building mass, it takes a combination of things. Number one, of course, you're talking your nutrition, then you're talking your training, then you're talking about sight. It's almost like the law of physics. Everything is connected to everything. One without the other is zero. Bodybuilding is about muscle. It's about beef. You know, and that means the guy with the largest muscle. And of course, we're looking at definition too. You know, that separate the men from the boys. Mr. Olympia should be something grand. Our bodybuilding should be something grand. That's why the biggest and the thickest and the largest is bodybuilding.
Well, not much can be said about this man other than the fact that he is the best. The statistics on Lee, 5'11", 248, 34 years old. And don't forget to add this stat. 7 Mr. Olympia titles. He's out to win his 8th and break Arnold Schwarzenegger's record.
He's going to have a tough time doing it. Yates doesn't want him to do that.
Oh, but look at that torso. Look at the chest, the lats, the shoulders. What doesn't he have? Where is his weakness? Tell me.
He always comes in such good shape. I don't know. A lot of people feel that his arms and legs don't match up to his upper torso, but...
Yeah, but nobody tells that to his face.
No.
You know, you see,
Look
what
at
he
those
does,
lats.
what he does that others maybe sometimes fail to do is look at the wide lats, is prepare. I mean, this is a 12-month-a-year profession for him. There's little downtime for him.
What if he takes too much time off? He does have a son and daughter, though. I'm sure he plays a little bit.
That's a beautiful sweeping pose. Lee Haney, folks. Doesn't get much better than that. Will he win? Will he defend his title? That's the question everyone here at Walt Disney World's Dolphin Hotel Complex is asking right now.
He can do it. Look at him. He knows how to feed that audience. He's been doing it for a long time.
And that completes our individual posing. Have you been keeping score? And who do you like in the finals? Who are your top 6? I'll ask that same question to you, Penny. Who do you like?
I think it's Yates and Haney, peck to peck.
You said Yates first. Interesting.
We'll see, we'll see. After that, it's battle of the most symmetrical.
And internationally speaking, I think France represented themselves well with Benfato and Terry Pastel.
Yes, Labrada looks great tonight.
So we have quite a selection, don't we?
Yes, I wouldn't want to be a judge.
All right, well, those are a few of our guesses in the finals. You keep your guesses. Spend the next moment or so writing them down. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the 6 finalists, the pose down, and the award ceremony right after this.
Math. No. Math. No. Math. Yeah, that's it.
Introducing the Lee Haney Mass Fuel Kit from Twin Lab, a complete nutrition and training program to help build muscle mass.
Mass. Now you got it.
Glad you could be with us for Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia from the Walt Disney World Dolphin Hotel. Joe Fowler and Penny Price with you. And Penny, we're looking at 6 of the best bodybuilders in the world from left to right. Dorian Yates from England. Lee Haney, of course, from South Carolina. Vince Taylor, now living in Florida. Sonny Schmidt from Australia. Sean Ray from sunny California. And Lee Labrada on the far right, as we can. You see Sean and now Lee on the far right. He's from Houston, Texas. And explain to the viewers what we're seeing here in the comparisons.
Well, you can just see the sparks flying. The tension is there. This is it right here. This is where they decide.
But they're shoulder to shoulder to shoulder, and they're having to go through compulsory comparisons here. They're each showing the body parts at the same time, correct?
Right. This is the front double bicep. We're comparing them, showing all the angles.
Now, this is probably where a guy like Lee Labrada there, that you saw, at 5'5", is at a disadvantage.
Definitely.
Because you're standing next to a guy. In this case, they put him next to Sean Ray, which helps him at 5'7". They keep the big guys over on the far left side, these 240-pounders, Lee Haney and Dorian Yates, on the left side. But still, you're standing there for all to see, side by side with the best in the world. You can't hide a thing. What are we seeing?
The mass, the size.
And they're the 2
side
favorites.
Chest. That's it. Look at that tricep.
Who do you like as you see these different comparisons?
You know, each of them has their own qualities. Labrada has all the symmetry. He's got the mass of Labrada.
See, Vince Taylor, as we panned across Vince, he's next to Lee Haney. I think he's holding up very well here.
And then he came in surprising. I think he's going to surprise us all. He's up there.
It's a great story, but again, Dorian Yates, the blonde on the left side, out of England, Birmingham, England. This is his first Mr. O, and if he doesn't come in the top 3, there's probably something wrong, because everyone here can see it. He matches up well with Lee Haney, who's standing right next to him.
There's the lat spread, showing off the width of the back.
And that's where I think Sonny Schmidt, who you see right under the M in Olympia, can show off a little bit. I'll tell you what. I know Sean Ray, and I think he's upset. I really do. I believe that he knows at this point that he's not going to win this, and this has been his goal, and a lot was expected of him.
He's improved quite a bit.
I
He's
agree
brought the
with
body
you.
parts up, but he just doesn't have it. He's got to have a little bit more mass.
But I'm not the judge. They're
Right,
looking.
that's right.
They're looking with a fine-tooth comb, folks. Okay, now. We've been watching the comparisons. And they're going to go
Here
to the
comes
front.
the abdominal.
Yeah,
Oh, they're all so good.
they are. It's
Oh,
hard
I
to
would
pick.
not want to be a judge.
No.
Here we go.
There's Lee. You know, there was a time, as in Arnold Schwarzenegger, where Lee completely dominated. He's not dominating. I mean, you got to really think this one through.
You've got to really pick them apart.
But this, make no bones about it, is Lee's title to lose. He is the champion, and now we're going to have our pose down, where they'll be chasing each other around the stage, and you see Lee Labrada up front right now. Of course, he is one of the great posers. He likes this.
I think this is the most exciting part of the show. They really show off their competitive side.
There's Sonny Schmidt. He is very thick. There goes Dorian. I think
There
Dorian's
he
going to
is.
go over next to
We're gonna
Lee.
see some fire.
Yep,
Here
he's
we
going to go right next to Lee. This is how you take the title away. You stand next to the champion. You say, here's what I have to offer.
Jump in front of him.
As Vince Taylor is doing. There you see Sean Ray at just 26 years old. He has many more years.
Labrada's kind of staying off to the side. I think,
Well, Lee has his fan club. Lee has his fan club. What do you people think? Our viewers, who do you like? There you see 6 of the best, and in just a few moments, as
Pop 'em
Sean
through there. There
Ray
he
squeaks
goes.
through, we're going to have a new Mr. O. Or will it be the same Mr. O?
It's hard to stop them once they get going here. The audience goes nuts.
Dorian, known as the Shadow, for his way of hiding out in his Temple Gym in England. There's a great shot.
Yep.
This is their moment. They've trained for many, many months. They've been dieting for many, many months. These are a bunch of grumpy men on the stage. Trust me, we've dealt with them backstage.
Not just months, but years.
Absolutely. And they are about to call it an evening. In just a few moments, they're going to break for pizzas.
Here we go. The top show in the world. The best in the world. Right there.
Well, if you're picking, folks, you probably are looking at the big guys. They usually have the fingers pointed at them. Right there, Dorian Yates. To his left, our right, Lee Haney. So who do you like? Why don't you call 1-900-PUMP-IRON. 1-900 PUMPIRON and register your vote. You have that opportunity right now. You've seen the competition tonight. You're looking at them side by side. The sweeping classic poses of Sean Ray, the Dorian Yates, the Lee Haneys, the Vince Taylors, the Lee Labradas, the Sonny Schmidts. Pick your favorite. 1-900-PUMP-IRON. One more time, Penny. You like. You got to commit.
I think Lee Haney's going to take it again. I really do. He's in the best shape that he's ever been in.
She likes Lee. Who do you like? We will know who our next Mr. O is right after this. Stay with us. It may be a cliche, but folks, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Our 6 competitors are still on that stage. It's been a long event. We're about to find out 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Sonny Schmidt just announced as the 6th place finisher. That's just a tough position to be in. It's the only way you look at it. Sonny's from Australia. A couple of boos in that, but there's nobody's going to be completely happy.
I don't think so. These are tough calls.
So who's going to finish 5th? There's Sonny. He receives his award. You know, the prize money here, these competitors are going to share over $250,000 worth of prize money. That's up from $1,000 in the first years of Mr. O. All right, in 5th place. They're talking about the money right now. Who's getting the next check? And they're going to announce the award and the 5th place finisher in just a moment. Boy, how times have changed. Actually, oh, Sean Ray. Wow.
Like that.
And he's going to be a good sport about it, but Sean Ray's going to have to rethink his strategy as he finishes 5th. After a string of high finishing over the last few years, Sean Ray in 5th place, Penny.
I think he had an idea that something was coming, that he, that he wasn't in the top 3, but I'm sure he's happy with his position now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
He's a good sport.
He's a good sport, but he's a competitor. All right. We're down to 4, and then there were 4. Come on, guys. Tell you, Lee Labrada's hung in there at 5'5". This could be his calling, though.
He's sweating bullets right now.
Lee Labrada.
Good job, Lee.
Absolutely. He's finished 3rd in the past, but he's going to drop out at number 5, make that number 4 in this year's Mr. O. Lee Labrada from Houston, Texas, 185 pounds. He's still just 30 years old.
Yeah, he's got a lot going for him.
A great physique.
He knows what to do with it.
And now we're down to the big guys. Vince Taylor at 206, Dorian Yates at 240, and Lee Haney at almost 250 pounds. Once again, Penny, we're looking at size dominating here.
It sure is.
I was mentioning the prize money. Arnold Schwarzenegger never won more than 25 or shared in more than $2,500 in prize money. So this has come a long way. What a glamorous event we have going here in Orlando. It's Taylor, Haney, and Yates from left to right. Waiting to find out who's going to finish 3rd. Don't be surprised if the 2 monsters are left. They are. Vince Taylor. We liked him, and you liked him early on as well.
He just doesn't have the height or the size to beat the other 2.
But he has the heart, and I'll tell you what, after collapsing last year, to make it to number 3 in this year's Mr. O is quite an accomplishment. I think we're going to see Vince back again next year. He's 35 years old, and I'd say he's on a bit of a roll right now. All right, folks, in prejudging, we saw these next 2 standing side by side, and they drew the largest and loudest cheers. Lee Haney, 7-time Mr. Olympia, and Dorian Yates in his very first Mr. O. Lee Haney trying to break Arnold's world record. Listen to the crowd.
Just depends on what you see as first place.
Well, it's a toss-up, but if it's a toss-up, the champion usually ends up retaining the title.
Yeah, and look at that tiny leg.
They're going to announce the number 2 finisher. Lee's been at this since the early 80s. It is
the experience.
Oh yeah, he brings experience to the table. He brings the mass to the table. He brings the savvy to this table.
Yates is just a baby compared to Lee.
A baby, huh? 29 years old, and it
there
is
we
Yates,
go.
number 2, Lee Haney.
He did it again.
Is the Mr. O one more time. Oh, when is it ever going to end? Who is ever going to come up and fight him from behind? Is it ever going to happen? Someday it will, but for now, Lee Haney continues his string of Mr. Olympia titles. Well-deserved to boot.
I don't think Yates is too disappointed.
How could he be? In fact, he's receiving congratulations right now from Lee Haney. Dorian Yates did a masterful job here, and you'll see him again, I guarantee it. There he is, the champion. Haney and I will talk to the one and only Lee Haney when we come back. Stay with us.
Engineering students, pay attention. Observe this structure. Remember, future engineers, with the right support, you can build anything.
American Muscle Magazine's special presentation of the IFBB Mr. Olympia is brought to you by Valio, the ultimate workout belt, by Twin Lab, the leader in sports nutrition, and by Cybergenics, scientifically engineered to build muscle fast.
Welcome back. When you say Mr. Olympia, you are saying Lee Haney. Our congratulations. This must be even special, more special, because it's a record breaker.
It is special. You know, there was a lot of pressure going into the show, and, you know, I have my own place in history. Very special.
Can't take that away.
I'm serious. You cannot take that away.
Haney?
I want to know if you were really worried about Dorian Yates.
Well, you know, I knew that coming into this show, Dorian was one of the top contenders. But I knew that I had him as far as experience and learning how to repeat for a show time and time again.
And you did. You posed him into the dirt. You did
Thank
great.
you.
You can
Thank
pose.
you.
Is there a point during the competition when you felt, I got it, it's mine?
Yeah, when I walked on stage. Exactly. We're doing a pump-up room, you know, just before you get ready to go out for the first round. After I peeled off and I saw that my physique had filled out and the carbs had reloaded perfectly into the muscle, I knew then it was an awesome combination. It would take something monstrous to beat mass, symmetry, and definition. And Arnold has retired.
So there was nobody out there.
Arnold back there, so I didn't worry.
Lee, congratulations
Thank
to
you. Thank you very much.
He is the champion, the champion, the champion, the champion, the champion, and three more on that, folks. For Penny Price and our champion, Lee Haney, I'm Joe Fowler. We thank you for watching Mr. Olympia competition. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hotel accommodations for our staff have been provided by the beautiful Marina Pacific Hotel on the beach in Venice, California. And remember, we're working for a drug-free America, and we hope you are too. We'll see you next time here on American Muscle Magazine.